Okay, we are live again. Hi everyone, Vacha here from recordingstudio9.com doing another live broadcast. This time the topic is basically we're looking at Tracktion 5, the T5, the free DAW. So we're going to be discovering, I'm going to be playing around with it. I'm going to talk about it and do a little bit of comparison between Tracktion 5 Free and PreSonus Studio One version 3 Prime, the free DAW, to see what the differences are and what options each one would have. And we're going to be discussing all of those. I hope I'll have some people join in. And at the moment, there's no one here, but hopefully someone will join in. And I will take some questions as well, as always, in regards to any topic for making music and recording and so on. So thanks for joining in. And this is another live stream, I think number 3, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully everything is doing all good there. And I've got my Mini Lab keyboard connected as well. Let me just show that to you. So there we go. So we're going to be playing around with that and playing some of the keys. So I'm gonna demonstrate what I'm trying to do. I'm learning Tracktion 5 as well, so this is a great opportunity to join me and ask questions, and I'll experiment and see if I can work things out. So far, so good, and it's doing okay. I've just been able to do a couple MIDI clips in there and being able to track. Now with Tracktion 5, you don't get any sampler or any VSTI instrument. So there's no sound built in. You can certainly record audio, but there's no sound built in. So in that regard, comparing to Studio One version 3 Prime, it comes with Presence XD with its own sample library. But guess what? Tracktion 5 supports VSTI instruments. So VSTI. So that means we can load up any instruments we like. That's how good is that one? So, and we can get a couple of them for free as well, really high quality ones. The one I'm playing around with at the moment is from IK Multimedia Sample Tank, which you can actually download it and install it all for free, and you get quite a few instruments in there. I can't remember how many there are. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, there's quite a few instruments. So let me just get you here. So I'm looking at IK Multimedia Sample Tank version 3, and we have quite a few instruments that we can just use. At the moment I'm using the bass guitar. Obviously I've got a couple other instruments as well. Let's see, I've got drums. That I'm just playing on my Atura. So basically, making the sounds. And if I change the channel, I'll get piano. So I've layered and worked that out and layered 3 sounds a piano, the drums as you heard, and then the bass. And been playing around. So I've got 2 MIDI tracks. I've got a piano track and a drum track done. I was about to lay down and play around with some bass guitar. I thought I'll start live, and then hopefully people can join in and see what's happening as well. So as always, feel free to comment. I think it's on this side somewhere. You can comment there, and I'll be able to read and answer any questions you might have. So let's have a quick listen to see how far I've gone so far. So I've got one instance of Sample Tank 3 running, and then I have in Sample Tank 3 I've loaded 3 different instruments: piano, drums, and bass. And I've got 2 MIDI tracks. Here you can see here I've got one track which is my piano track, track number 3. I guess I can call that piano, and track number 4 is drums, and so on. So we're gonna record track number, what did I do? Here we go. And let's call this the bass, because I'm going to play bass guitar on that one. Let's have a quick listen to see what I've gone so far. You know, so we play some bass line there as well, and fill it up. So it's going pretty okay. Not sure what time it is. My time, Sydney time, it's 9:30 p.m. on a Friday. Woohoo! It's like, what's the time in US? Let's have a look. I should actually check these things out. You know what time the rest of the world is at. Okay, London. We're looking at about 4:30 a.m. Okay, we guys need people from London, maybe from Paris, from other West Asian, you know, they should be up. You know, that's during the day. Anyway, so what I've discovered so far is where are we? No, that's not that. No, that's not that. Oh, here. With it, I've been playing around with Tracktion 5, and it's pretty full on. You know, it's quite full on, and you know, you've got your tracks in the middle, and then you've got your mixer on the left hand side. If we look at the top here, you can see I've got input 1 and input 2. As I'm speaking, you can see the things there, so I should have no problem recording, so I can quite easily enable record. Oh, that's what I have to do, is disable live monitoring. There we go. I don't need to monitor live, otherwise we'll have some feedback there. That's what actually what you were hearing there was actually the latency delay. So you're hearing the original sound, and then the sound coming back from Tracktion, so you get that really funny effect. Anyway, so I can turn it off. So that's what comes up, and let's have a quick record of me just talking and blabbing on and see what the waves looks like on the screen. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Okay, here we go. So there's my la la la. Let's have a listen. La 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 la, la 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Anyway, so you can see you can record the audio there without any problem. You can zoom in, look at, we can really zoom in, which is quite good, to look at the waveforms. And let's make it even bigger and zoom in, so which is pretty good. And you can obviously slice and dice like any other DAW. Let's say if I want to cut it from here, you can cut it from there to there. And on this one, we can certainly adjust the gain just of that part, as you can see. So it's pretty cool. Back to 0. So yeah, it's we'll talk about all of these arrows. What do they mean? Is basically just moving it like that, or you cut it like that. And this one will actually allow you to move the inside. So really funny. And this one you can move the window across like that. So it's got really funny ways, lots of ways, whether you are trimming from the left or from the right, or you're moving it to the left and the right, the whole thing, or think of it as a window, and then the audio in it will actually be moving to adjust, a whole heap of different ways. So it's really fantastic clip level, options that you've got. You even have a loop, which allows you to loop that bit there. So as you can see, this one here, this clip here, now because I click looped, that bit there stands for L, I guess. And you can loop, and then you can drag this from here, and it will keep making loops of the same one. So if you've got a single shot drums or things like that you want to loop, you just click the L, and then that will keep looping. So interesting stuff. Anyway, I'm not gonna bore you for too long. I'm just gonna see if I can record my bass line, and I'll show you what I've done later on, how I've actually gone to that stage. Just gonna delete all of this, don't need them. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, those are my MIDI notes that I've just recorded. And if we make it big enough so you can see the notes, and your piano roll comes in there as well, so which is perfect. So you can If we just solo that one out and see what I played. Okay, let's have a look at how I got here. Basically, to put a VSTI instrument into a track, I'm just going to scroll down to a blank track, track 6. You can drag from here, put it there. You can see it goes a bit of a red and then a plus sign. You let it go and it allows you to choose. So I said, okay, let's choose VST plugins and sample tank tree. Okay, and here's my new fresh instance of sample tank tree. As you can see, nothing is loaded. If you don't know about sample tank tree and how it works, I might explain that at another time. Basically, sample tank tree will allow you to load up to 16 different instruments for each one of the 16 MIDI channels available. And you can sort of, and the free sounds that comes with it are all here. So basically what I did, I went to piano and grand piano, and for the first slot you double click and it loads piano. And now if I actually have my MIDI channel 1 on my thing, okay, so that's what it will play. But probably the other sample tank is taking over. So that's how that works. And then you can load different instruments on different parts. But just going to delete that one. What the best way to do it, and that's what Tracktion recommends, is to wrap it around a rack. So you get it wrapped around it. So basically, when you put one here and you did select sample tank 3, okay, you come here and right click it and say wrap plugin with the new rack plugin. And this, what you're seeing here, is sort of the rack system, patching system, and it can be MIDI or audio. In this case, because sample tank 3 is a MIDI instrument, so it's got MIDI input. You've got the actual VSTI in there and all of its output, because sample tank supports up to 32 outputs or 16 stereo outputs. Remember, there were 16 channels we could use or 16 tracks we could use. So this is all of the audio outputs of each one. And when we click in the middle there, we'll be able to see the actual sample tank. Now, this makes it easy so that instead of having multiple instances of sample tank, you only have one, and then you can direct each one of your MIDI tracks to the same instant and then feed it to each one of your tracks. So that's why over here you see how my piano is going to one track, and then all you hear is piano there, and then the next you hear the drums, which is on another track, and then you've got the bass guitar, which I just recorded, which goes on to another track. Then you have full control of how the sounds would be. Even though in sample tank, when you have a look, you've got the mixer, which you can adjust all of the levels here, but having it control outside onto your DAW, you can add different effects obviously into it. So that's what the difference is. I mean, you can adjust it here as well. You know, it's a it's a practically a DAW itself. You know, standalone. Just feed it MIDI and then it will play it for you. So yeah. So now, as you can see, even though Tracktion 5 does not come with any VSTI instruments or sounds, you can actually download Sample Tank or Native Instruments Contact Player 5, which is free and comes with lots of sounds. You can actually use them to create your own music, so you don't need anything extra. So that's I hope I'm not blabbing on too long, but yeah. So I'm getting pretty attached with Tracktion. You know, whether if it's gonna be replacing Studio One Prime, it's time will tell. I guess because one of the main advantages of Tracktion is the VST, where in Studio One you don't have VST option, none. So you're stuck with what you have, where here you can have whatever you like. I think I've put in even the TDR Nova here, you know, dynamic EQ. So you can even use that in any VST plugin. So so as you can see, that's what we're getting, and I can quite easily add maybe, let's try a reverb on the piano, or the delay. Let's try delay on the piano. So as you can see now, I can add effects just on the piano outside the sample tank, even though sample tank has you know, reverb and delay and things in it itself. So you can see that's what makes it really really useful to separate it. And the way I separate it in here is with sample tank. If we go to the mix, right at the bottom you will see that my piano is going out 1 and 2. My drum kit is going out 3 and 4, and my bass is going out 5 and 6. Normally they all default to output 1 and 2 as a stereo output, but you can separate the instruments into different audio outputs, as I said, up to 16 stereo ones. And what you normally do is over here, you can see I'm using left output as out 1 and 2, but in my drums one, I'm using output 3 and 4. And then in my sample tank here for my bass, it's using 5 and 6. So 3 MIDI tracks are being fed to the same sample tank, and then 3 different instruments playing their sound, and each instrument having their output into separate stereo channels, in this case 3 stereo channels, and then I'm selecting each track for each one of those stereo channels so that I can separate all the sounds. So let's have a listen and you'll see. That's piano only. That's the drums. And then the bass. And then altogether. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, basically I'm just playing around here, nothing too serious, just working my way around. I'm trying to learn so that I can actually get some videos done. Obviously I need to learn first, know exactly how it works before I can create any videos to teach you guys how it actually works. And you know, in graphical user interface wise, the graphics looks really outdated, you know, compared to, let's say, Studio One or any of the other DAWs. You know, even Music Creator 7 from Cakewalk, you know, still has really nice graphical user interface, where with Tracktion it looks really outdated. But I guess what Tracktion has done is, instead of putting lots of energy in creating beautiful looking graphical user interface, they've concentrated more on its options and flexibility and being able to do things in so many multiple ways, and in non-conventional ways as well. So as you can see, it moves from one side to the next. The audio, you've got your input, your track, and then your output. There is no mixer console. There's no standard console. You can design your console any which way you like, because you can put let's say a meter before and after a VST instrument, so you can see what sort of level differences you are getting, whether if it's when you're clipping between VST plugins. You know, when you apply compression and EQ, whether the output of that compression or EQ is actually distorted or not, because you're going to be feeding that to the next VST plugin. If it's too loud, then you're probably clipping, you know, the VST plugin there. So that's what I think makes it really useful, in that sense that it's modular. You can put whatever you like in your console, which is on your right hand side. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and keep playing with this, and I'll thank you for watching, and I hope that you really enjoyed this simple look for Tracktion. Thanks again.
Wow.